Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Small Business Briefing. I'm Sarah Miller, Vice President of Marketing and Strategic Communications for Sbam. Normally, I'm joined live by my co-host, Brian Caile, but today he is traveling back from the Mackinac Policy Conference. We do have a special video update from him that we'll be sharing shortly. But before we get going any further, I want to welcome our new member of the week, Castle Keepers, located in Empire. Castle Keepers specializes in residential carpentry, construction, and home services. So welcome to the owner, John Carroll, and his team. And of course, we are welcoming them on behalf of our sponsor, Marana Group, who is a data, document, and distribution company in Kalamazoo. So like I said, we'll be hearing from Brian shortly. But before we do, I wanted to take a few minutes to give you an update and a reminder on Sbam's annual meeting and Small Business Summit that is happening in just 2 weeks, Thursday, June 16th in Lansing. This event is our favorite day of the year. It includes an exhibit hall, lots of networking, our keynote presentation, and express learning sessions. And we just announced our 4 express learning session topics and presenters. So I've invited my colleague, Lori Birman, who is Sbam's Vice President of Membership and Development, on to share a little bit about those sessions. So welcome, Lori.
Thank you, Sarah. Thanks for the chance to talk about this. So excited that we will all be back in person this year, and excited that we're doing some new things with the Express Learning Sessions. Let me tell you about them. We have 4, as Sarah mentioned. I'll talk about the first one. First one starts at 8:30, so don't be late. The event starts at 8. We'll have 4 throughout the day. The first one is called Find Your Power to Persevere. I think we could all use that, 5 creative ways to help build your energy or rebuild your energy. I think this is a great topic for business owners. It'll be presented by one of our members, Lisa Fisher, who's founder of Lisa Fisher and Associates, a great member, very active business coach professional, and we'll look forward to that presentation from her. Our second topic will be what you need to know about cryptocurrency. I think we all would like to know more about that, but as a business owner, what do you need to know? That will be presented by Shane Hansen. He's a partner from Warner Norcross Judd in Grand Rapids. We look forward to that. Our 10:15 session will be highlighted by one of our members, Cameron Ganas. He's founder of Traction. He'll be talking about anatomy of a brand. He will explore 5 brand pillars and how they should all work together. And he has a great case study of an actual 18th century anatomy of a brand, so to speak. So we'll look forward to that. Cam's been a longtime member of the organization. And then last but not least, on the 16th, our final Express Learning session will be Experience the Power of Connection. That'll be presented by Derek Dickow. Derek is also an active member of Sbam. He is a board director. He is a fabulous speaker, compelling, confident, and candid is the subtitle for this session. He'll bring you 5 takeaways on how to have purpose-driven networking, some tips that you can take away as a business owner. So we encourage you to attend, come early, and attend these 4 sessions that are of no cost to all attendees that have paid for registration. We invite them to these sessions that will be on the exhibit floor before our exciting panel discussion that highlights other small business owners.
I'm excited this year, Lori, because we're having the whole show in one place. So I love that this will bring a new energy to the event. We'll have all of our exhibitors ready and open at 8 a.m. These 4 express learning sessions that everyone can attend each one this time. You don't have to choose between different sessions. There'll be quick hits. There's going to be a lounge set up. Of course, we'll have beverages, snacks, lots of networking. And then, like Lori just said, too, we have our keynote presentation on business and transition featuring Gina Thorson of Stormy Cromer, Chris Shepler of Shepler's Ferry, and David Roy, who was the former owner of Marana Group. So please attend. You can get your tickets at sbam.org. right on the homepage, there's a big button that you can click to register. So we do hope to see you all there.
Thank you, Sarah. We're looking forward to it.
All right, now we are going to hear from Mr. Caile. The video all queued up, ready for him to share a little bit about what he has been up to. So, one moment while I get that ready. I have it right here. You know, it's always fun and games until you go to share something while you're live. And Brian is used to this, but apparently, here we are. I am not. All right, here's Brian.
Brian Caile here, checking in from Mission Point Resort on Mackinac Island here for the annual Detroit Policy Conference, or the Mackinac Policy Conference, put on by our friends and colleagues at the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce. Really cool things happen up on the island. Big confab of people from all over the state, from all different types of industries, and we get a lot of business done during this time period. Of course, that's up at the Grand Hotel, but family-owned hotel, the Mission Point Resort, also owned by one of the owners is an Sbam board member, Mark Ware. Love to stay here, chiefly though, because they let you take your dog, and so there's Sadie. All right, so several things. Now I'm pre-recording this because I can't do it at the regular appointed time. So Sarah's going to host, and also to we'll play this at 3 o'clock when it goes live. So thank you for tuning in. A couple things that I wanted to cover here, actually several things. First is a quick recap on numbers. You might recall from about a year or 2 weeks ago, I had mentioned it looked like the numbers in terms of COVID numbers in Michigan were starting to crest. We saw hospitalization numbers up a little bit, but ICU flat, deaths flat, which were all good signs. And then last week I said it looks like it's starting to actually come down. So it looked like a real crest starting to come down. Definitely this week down. It's actually down about 20% off the high. So great news. And then in terms of deaths over the last week, we're at about a 10-month low. So trends looking good. So a bit of a mini wave, if you will, but didn't result in hospitalization or death in the way that previous waves have. So just a quick kind of data Monday. Didn't even show any graphs because it really looked like what we predicted last week was coming true. All right, gubernatorial politics. So the Democratic side of the ticket we know is has been set for a while, and there's no competition for Gretchen Whitmer will be the Democrats' nominee for governor. And then on the Republican side, there were 10 candidates. It's narrowed down to 5. Now, several of those 5, they got kicked off the ballot for not having enough valid signatures, challenged the finding in court, and one by one, those are getting knocked down. It really doesn't look like the Court of Appeals has left the door open for any type of a serious challenge. The one for a lesser known candidate, Donna Brandenburg, looked like it was maybe a little bit different, and since she's saying that there was a second batch of signatures that weren't counted at all by the Elections Bureau. So a little bit of an asterisk or caveat there that maybe that one's different, but the other 2 that the Court of Appeals has already decided on essentially flatly rejected the findings. One of the other lesser known candidates, Michael Markey, is saying that he's going to go to the Supreme Court. It's not likely to be a different answer at the Supreme Court. So on the Republican side, down to 5 candidates. And so it would be Ralph Rebrand, Garrett Saldano, Tudor Dixon, Kevin Rinke, and also Kelly. So 5 candidates on the Republican side. Really, at this point, it's a brand new race. It's hard to see exactly what's happening in the race. It was kind of shaping up one way, but the top 2 candidates did get kicked off the ballot because of lack of enough valid signatures to make it. I actually was on one of the panels here at the Mackinac Policy Conference on the MSHDA State Housing Plan. We're going to get MSHDA on the briefing to talk about this and why it's such a critical or an important issue. With us here at Sbam, we've started to hear, actually for months now, or for the past year, certain regions of our state that have really struggled to find enough people or find enough housing for employees. So when they look to expand, and especially if they have to bring people in from outside of their the community where they're operating, just the lack of housing is a real barrier. And that the statewide housing plan, the first of its type. I did sit on the work group that formed the plan, along with Bill Kimball, the chair of our board of directors at Sbam, and so that will be released here over the coming weeks and turned into a lot of different initiatives that we'll keep you up to date on as well. Okay, so there was an executive directive that was issued today from the governor that is meant to streamline permitting processes for infrastructure, road, bridge, water, sewer type infrastructure projects, to streamline it, make it go a little bit faster. Hard to tell exactly what the holdup was before, why this directive was necessary in order to speed things up, but naturally, I know they're trying to do a lot of catch up on roads, as projects in the last few years because of the COVID restrictions were held off on. So you can tell they're trying to make up a lot right now. It's hard to get anywhere around the state. I wanted to note that tracktherecovery.org has put out some data saying that the small business revenue is actually up impressively, over 20%. And but I wanted to make sure that people understand, because that while it does look like there is a strong recovery taking hold, it's also mixed in with inflation. So if you're to look at, for example, a gas station, a convenience store, or a grocery store, you would likely see that their revenues are way up because of inflation, but it doesn't mean the units sold are way up. So a used car sales dealer might show revenues way up, but not more units sold. So it's not an improvement in productivity, not an improvement in profitability that would normally accompany an increase in volume in terms of overall revenue. The unit volume has not improved. And so it's a little bit tricky to look just at revenue numbers in times of rising inflation and say, hey, that looks great. 2 years ago, it would have been great when we didn't have inflation. When you have inflation, that's a big part of the revenue growth that you see happening out there. But naturally, it's going to be a mixed bag depending on the industry. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to cover before I turn it back over to Sarah is that there are several ballot questions that may or may not be up on your ballot this November for a vote. There are two things that can make it to your ballot. First is what's called a citizens initiative, or a citizen initiated law. This is where signatures are gathered. A statute is put before the legislature. They can pass it or reject it. If they reject it, it goes to a vote. If they pass it, it just becomes law without the governor's signature. So that's one thing that you could see on the ballot. The other is a constitutional amendment. Now, those the legislature cannot do on its own. They can put it before the voters. We talked already about the term limits proposal that the legislature has put on the ballot for this November. So you will see that term limits and financial disclosure for state candidates that will be on the ballot this November. There were signatures that were turned in on payday lending rules. So they had enough signatures to turn it in. In this case, it's not a constitutional amendment, it's a citizens initiated law. That means that the legislature could either just pass it and it becomes law, or they could reject it and then it goes to a vote of the citizens later on this year. That the first one, term limits, I think Sbam probably will end up taking a position on. We're going through a process now and evaluating it. Looks like it's trending that we will take a position on that. On the payday lending, I don't believe that we have any kind of policy that would impact it either way. Just want to make sure that you know that that could be on the ballot. Now, there are some others that look like maybe they've run into some trouble. There's one on a school choice initiative that has missed a deadline to turn in signatures, although there was some indication that maybe they still would turn in signatures a little bit later. So stay tuned on that. And then the next deadline on constitutional amendments will be coming up in July. I believe it's on July 11th. And there are different voter changes in the way that that voting and absentee voting and in-person voting works. There's some competing proposals there. Not clear if they will make the ballot. It looks like the minimum wage proposal will not make the ballot. So a lot of activity out there with getting signatures, but it really looks like the term limits proposal and the payday lending proposal are the ones that are most likely to be there on the ballot. And those constitutional amendments on the competing voting rights initiatives may or may not. It's difficult to see whether or not they'll have enough signatures. And then there'll probably be one on the abortion issue that also it's out there collecting signatures right now, may or may not make enough to qualify for the ballot this year. So a lot of things that are happening out there in the elections and on the proposals. And once each passes its threshold, we'll make sure that you know what is up for consideration, so that you're ready to vote when you need to vote. So looking over my my notes here, it looks like that covers everything that I needed to cover. I will look forward to seeing you back here on well, I guess it would be Monday. See everybody.
All right, well, we will look forward to having Brian back here on Monday. But now I want to introduce you to a special guest. I have another colleague of mine on today. His name is Caile Richards, and Caile is Sbam's energy advocate. So Caile, welcome to the show. Can you just give a brief overview about your role here at Sbam?
Hey, thanks, Sarah. Yeah, so I'm the energy advocate here at the Small Business Association of Michigan, and my job is to help you small business owners find the resources to do energy efficiency and renewable energy projects. And that includes helping you find contractors, financing, grants, rebates, all of the free money that's out there to help get these projects done at a lower cost and help drive that ROI down and save you money faster.
And I should mention too that Sbam Energy Solutions has been around for, I think, 5 years now. Caile, am I correct? Okay, 5
Yes.
years. And it is a partnership that we have with Consumers Energy and DTE Energy. If you're a loyal viewer, you have heard us talk about this before, but we are really thrilled to have this partnership with both Consumers and DTE that allows us to send Caile out to really help our members become more energy efficient. So Caile, could you describe a typical assessment that you do and what's expected of the member during this process?
So yeah, generally I'll come into your facility and greet you at the door and kind of just get a quick overview of the things that you've done or the things you would like to do as far as building improvements. And then from there, we would take a tour of the facility, looking at lighting, HVAC, refrigeration, compressed air, most of the major systems in the facility. Generally speaking, I wouldn't necessarily need the business owner to follow me around, but maybe somebody, a facilities person or someone like that to kind of show me the nuts and bolts of the property. And then from there, I kind of go to work to see what programs are out there that fit kind of your shopping list or your wish list. And many times consumers and DT have rebates available for these projects. Anything from interior lighting, exterior lighting, compressed air, refrigeration, HVAC. One of the most common ones that we've run into recently is furnace tune-ups. So as we know, replacing your HVAC system is very, very expensive. So until you need to replace it, a lot of times it's actually more economic to tune the system up or make sure it's operating at its designed efficiency. That way you kind of avoid the catastrophic and untimely breakdowns of your HVAC system in the hottest and coldest days of the year. But from there, we can help you get 0% financing. There's grants available depending on the type of industry you're in, your geographic location, and come an energy assessment of your facility just to pair you with the programs that already exist.
And I know, Caile, just from working on the program with you, that there really are a variety of things that members can take advantage of. And it could be something super simple like swapping out light bulbs, or these more intense projects that might require construction. But what kind of projects do you think members get the biggest impact from?
So changing from your current fluorescent lighting to LED lighting is probably one of the most popular building improvements that we've seen recently. And the reason is because the ROI is so quick. Generally speaking, fluorescent to LED upgrade is roughly an 18 to 24 month ROI. And in today's market, I don't know if you can put money somewhere and get your return on investment in less than 2 years. So it's a really good way to invest in your building, save energy, and then come out on top both ways. And then if you pair that with 0% financing, you can pretty much get the entire project done without spending a single penny of your own money. And then from there, the second most popular and probably one that we've taken the most advantage of is smart thermostats. Both Consumers Energy and DTE Energy offer up to one free smart thermostat for small business owners. And then if you need additionals, there's ways that we can help you get those as well. But the smart thermostats, they allow you to control the temperature remotely. You can set passwords on it so other employees and other people aren't messing with the temperatures. And you can set alerts on those thermostats, because if the temperatures come out of a range of temperatures, you'll know that something's wrong with the HVAC system. And generally speaking, if you can address the situation sooner, it usually costs less to fix. So I say the smart thermostat program is definitely one that I would highly recommend people look into.
All right, and I know we had kind of some big numbers that we just learned about today, but what kind of impact are our members seeing on their energy bills just this year?
So we just got some preliminary numbers from the utilities on savings, and so far this year the utilities have given away almost $150,000 in energy incentives for these projects already through just the first 5 months of the year. So $150,000 of free money that the utilities give you to help you save money. It's an incredible program. It almost seems too good to be true, but here I am telling everybody about it.
So Caile, I think one of the questions we do get from time to time is, why does the company, a utility, want their customers to spend less money with them? And there's a good answer to that. Can you share?
Yes, exactly. So it does seem like it's it's too good to be true, or why would the utility who's selling me electricity want me to use less? And the answer is it's economics just in general for them too. So it costs about 8-9 cents a kilowatt hour to create power, and it costs them about 4 cents a kilowatt hour to save you power. So it costs them less to save you power than it does for them to create new power. And then from there, they share those savings with you to incentivize you to move forward on these projects. And then from there, it's just the right thing to do. And the utilities, they have been great partners with us, and they just really want to do the right thing. They want to do the right thing for Michigan companies. They want to do the right thing for Michiganders in general. So it really is a good program, and I'm very excited and happy to be a part of it. And I hope to see you at the booth on the 16th at our annual meeting, and I can give you some more information if you'd like.
Yes, way to plug the annual meeting again. Yes, Caile will be there along with some of our utility partners. You can talk to Caile there to schedule an assessment, or you can visit our website, sbam.org/energy. The assessments are free. There is no pressure, but have Caile come out, learn a little bit about what opportunities you do have in your facility to become a little bit more energy efficient, save some energy, save some money, and then take it from there. And the great thing is we help you through the whole process. So we walk you through incentives, rebates, help you find partners to do the work. So it really is a one-stop shop. So thank you, Caile, for coming on today to share a little bit about what you do here at Sbam.
Again, thanks, Sarah, and look forward to seeing you guys soon.
All right, well, that is all we have for today. We will be back here on Monday. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll see you then. Thanks all.